But you don't really care for this one. That's strange, but this is how it is. And what you're gonna do right now is make the dummies for these two. So you take the same name and you remove the call thing. So here it's gonna already be set it up as a collision, which is cool, so that we don't have to do it. Here we got the dummy, and these ones, even if it's for the dummy call, should be on the exact middle position of the world. So when you create a new dummy, it's done automatically, so you don't really care about that. But in case you move them, that's good to know. And then you just put the collisions inside the dummies. And your make collisions are done. And we just have to make the wheels for now. And actually, I just remembered that I forgot to do the steering wheel axis. So let's do it right now. Move axis only. Actually, let's put it on the middle directly, so that I'm sure that they just have to rotate it. So again, display center local axis to object. Yeah. Click on it. It's gonna be on the exact middle, but it's not the proper rotation, because we don't want it to rotate from the Z axis like that. We need it to face where the wheel is. So to do that, you go on modify rotate. You uncheck rotate geometry, you just check rotate axis. And I don't like this music. Nope. Okay. So, important thing, you have to place what I talked about earlier, the pivot, on the position you want to move things. So you zoom in, you'll have the axis showing there, blue and green, and you try to make it on the middle of them. And as we don't need to rotate it from the z-axis, but only the x that we don't see there, you just take a left or right view, position it between the two axes there, and you're good to rotate. If you have the x-axis selected and the rotation tool checked only rotate axis. So you do that, and you have to rotate it that it somehow face on the 90 angle of the front part of the wheel. The more it's accurate, the better it is. And I'm not an expert, but I think that this is somehow how it should be. Good enough for a first try. So this axis is properly placed here. So it's gonna take the front position there, turn it left and right from the axis. Okay, so that's done, and we need to only do the wheels collisions. And I have to put the other dummies that I forgot. So for the wheel, that's right here. You need to put it where your actual wheel is. Easiest way to do it, display, copy local axis from one node to another, click on the wheel, click on the collision. This place is good for clicking on it. See how the axis is getting bigger, so it means we are on it. And you click on it, and you can be sure that it's gonna be on the exact middle of the wheel. What we want, actually. Can check the other collisions. And now your work will be to make it fitting the wheel. So we can hide everything and only keep the wheel and the wheel collisions. Let's remove the transparent thing there. And again, like on the steering wheel, you have to put it on the middle. And for that, we're gonna put it on the collision to be sure that it's properly placed. It's not very visible, but it is on the middle of the collision there. And because we're working on all sides of the wheel, you have to position the pivot exactly on the middle. So you take the other side, so the front one or the back one, and you do the same as we did. Put it on the middle, roughly. You can zoom in more and place it manually like that. I'm just gonna check something because I see 2 red lines. I'm not sure about that. No, it's okay. So now it's placed properly. You can go on modify and scale. I think that you can uncheck the all axes, and you're gonna drag and drop it to scale it. But to be sure that it's scaling properly, we're gonna hold shift while we do that. So hold shift, left key pressed, and yeah, it's moving the wheel because we didn't select it on the collision only. Don't forget to select only the collision. I was tricked by the column. So you select it anywhere on the wheel, shift, left click, and it's gonna scale up the collision. You have to make it so that the top position is on the top. It's not important if it goes too much on the side there. Just need to be fitting the top and the bottom. And you do the same for the sides. It's gonna do the same for the top view too. Here you can just have this axis. You don't need to hold shift when you're rescaling, as it's on the middle. It's gonna scale left and right the same position. And you scale it to have the same size. So here the inside isn't really well modeled, but you don't really care about that. And now the collision of the left wheel is done, and we have to copy paste it to all the other wheels. Gonna just show all and remove the other collisions. So to do that, very easy. You go on your collision that is well made. You go and create and copy. So it's making a copy of the local axis reset, and we're gonna change that after. Don't forget to untick the one that you copied so that you can still copy it without having a clone of the other one. And you made 3 of them, like that. Then what you can do is directly isolating each of them, going into properties and changing the axis to X. And when you apply, boom, it takes the proper size and position. You do that for all 3, just like that. Here, and we're gonna call them how they should be on the car and placing them too. So wheel left front will have wheel left front collision inside the wheel. This is the right front, so it's RF. This one will be the rear left, so left rear. And this one will be the rear right, so rear right, like this. And you can position them right under where they should be. So this is the dummy that we made before, if you remember. And we're gonna just copy the axis, so the position of this dummy, to the collision. Just like that. So display, copy local axis from one object to another. You go to the dummy, you click on the dummy, then you click on the collision, and boom. Easy. You do that for the other 3, and after, don't forget to place them inside the dummy to really finish the work. Here. So the wheels collisions are now done. And just to be sure that these little things turns with the wheel, we're gonna do an extra thing. We're gonna copy the wheel axis to the brakes, like this, on both front wheels. Like that. Okay, so we almost finished, which is a very cool thing, because I think that people get bored when there's too much things to do. We're gonna just put these collisions inside the car, and now we can hide all the collisions because we don't need to work with them anymore. So now we only have the handle and the seat positions. So this dummy will determine when your character will go when you want to open a door. So here the position on a proper left offset. What I'm gonna do is just put them back like this. Move axis only or not. Doesn't really change. And I'm gonna put them more on the top of that. So in fact I'm gonna also change the offset. So you see on the position there, character's gonna put his hands where the dummy is. The closest to the door handle, the better it will look in game when he's gonna try to open it. So I'm gonna just put him a little more inside, just like that. So these one are done, so we can put them right under the doors. And now we do the same for the seats position. And remember what I said, that the left door is called even driving door, driving side, independently of the wheel position. But because of that, we have to get the seat position where the wheel and the passenger should be. So the passenger side should be this one, and the driver side should be this one. And here I'm gonna just take them a little back, like that. There is no perfect position for that. Visually, you have to try to place them somewhere and check in game after if they're placed properly. So when that's done, you can put them right under the handle position. And now we are ready to test the car. I'm gonna just check if everything is set up again. Ah, yes. So another thing, two other things. The exhaust, I forgot about the exhaust. The smoke of the exhaust is gonna be where the object called exhaust axis is. So if I leave it like that, the exhaust gonna go out of the middle position and just smoke back inside the car. So we just need to place it on the middle of the outside position. And for that you can of course help you with any view that can be the best for you to visualize things. So right here, right here. And of course it's affected also by the axis direction. So again, you can place a local pivot on the position and rotate it depending of how you want to smoke to go out. So as it's turned on the downside, I'm just putting it so that it goes out from where it is. And last thing, I'm gonna also place the spoiler directly inside the trunk. And to be sure that it's not gonna glitch, so that it's not gonna take this position and move it outside of it, I'm gonna take the same trunk axis like this and putting the spoiler object inside the trunk. That's called boot. So we have the boot, we have the spoiler there. And when the boot is gonna open, the